Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Pit Pod. Welcome to Playing in Traffic. We have a special guest today.
And we're doing video. And we've got Esperanza with us.
Hi, it's me.
We're trying it. We're trying the video. Everyone says do video. We're like, okay, fine.
Yeah, we like to record in our jammies, so we just decided why not record live? Well, not live. Why not record with video with whatever we want to wear? Sometimes we'll be in jammies, sometimes we may be in a costume. You never know.
Or both.
Yes, you may even see a kitty cat every once in a while. So here we are on a very special episode of Playing in Traffic. Actually, today is the Passover, but we do not have to keep it. Yay!
Yay!
Yay! Yay! Instead, we get to hang out together and laugh and laugh and laugh. I'm just kidding. So today we are going to talk to Esperanza. Here, as you guys remember, Esperanza was our guest, I think, for like 2 or 3 episodes a while ago.
It was like almost exactly a year ago.
No
from
way.
now
Was
that we
it
recorded.
really?
Yeah,
Wow.
I was looking at it. Yeah,
Oh. I thought it was
Crazy.
like 2 months ago.
I know,
Time
right?
flies.
But yeah,
Because
kind
like
of
we just did
coming
it.
full circle now.
Yeah. And, you know, we've talked a lot in our group about how the Whimscog and maybe other cults, you know, tend to target people in the military and people who are doing their military service. Started. Esperanza, what's new? What's
Life.
new in Colorado Springs? So Esperanza was in the Colorado Springs location. I don't want to say Zion anymore. So what should we say?
Yeah.
Location?
Compound.
Compound.
Yeah,
She was in
compound.
she was
This is
in the-
exactly what it is, though.
Colorado Springs has like a compoundy feeling. From
There
what I
is an
remember.
update on the Colorado Springs compound.
Ooh, tea. Let
Well,
me get it ready.
It's just something that kind of upset me. So, like I shared on my first episode with you guys, like the condition of that house, you know, just how run down it was and how not great it was to live there. And then when the new overseers came, apparently they got money from Korea from Mother and completely like remodeled the house, and now they turned it into like a short-term preaching stay-in for, you know, the whole handmade bunk beds, which are so dangerous. Do they have those here? I don't remember.
Yes, they
Yeah.
do.
They had them
just
in
made out of
Utah
wood.
too, and it was like, okay,
They're just made out of
we
wood,
might
right?
die.
Right.
These people building bunk beds when they've never done it before. But yeah, and that just kind of like, you know, you hear on so many people's stories that they share just how many times the church never uses our offerings and tithes and all the extra monies that they ask for to actually take care of the members. And like just knowing that we were living in such harsh and dangerous conditions for all that time, when this whole time they could have just gotten money from Korea. But also the overseers that are there now, if I'm not mistaken, the overseer's wife, her dad was like one of the architects in the Jerusalem temple. So I'm sure she's got her connection where she's like, hey daddy.
Wow.
So
when
you know,
did that
I'm
happen?
glad that nobody else has to live there like that, but you know, they started doing it in 2022. But you know, sometimes I pass by, I have a friend who lives down the road, and I see it, you know, like, man, like all the windows that were in the room that I lived in, they boarded them all up and tried to make them look kind of nice, and so there's going to be no more bugs in there. But yeah, I'm glad that the members don't have to live like we did
Anymore.
Yeah.
How many people do you think total had lived in that house over time?
Oh my God. It's probably like, I think the Colorado Springs location has been at that specific address for, I don't know, maybe like 10 years. And there are like dozens each year, so it's probably in the hundreds by now.
Wow,
Yeah.
wow. Living in those conditions.
Yeah.
Do you think that there were ever children living in those conditions?
Yeah, there
Actually, I do know that
there were.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. For sure.
So now it's upgraded, so that's good, I guess, for the members.
Yeah. So I guess, us speaking out is good. And what's crazy too is I remember when I went back to the church, there were new overseers. The overseer's wife, Deaconess Becky, she and I were talking, and she was like, I cannot believe you lived there. And I'm like, what do you mean? I thought this was normal for the church anyway, But other than that, life is super awesome. I just can't believe my life is my life now. Like, even a year ago when I recorded, when I spoke out with you guys, that was the first time I said most of the things that I said out loud, and oh my God, it was just so transformative. Like, that's where all my healing really started. Yeah, so thanks.
Thanks for coming over and being here.
Yeah, this is fun. But yeah, I just can't believe my life is my life. Like, the days that I would be just kind of dying in my bed with, that mental struggle after first leaving, I would have never believed anyone if they told me my life is as great as it is right now. Like, yeah, so anyone who's in that spot, just keep going, because time and therapy,
yes.
Really,
remind me when you left again?
August of 2022.
And look, it's March of 2024.
Yeah.
In just such a short time,
Mm-hmm.
In just such a short time, you just
Yeah.
turned your life around so much.
Yeah, absolutely. It's I'm so grateful. Oh my God, I can't imagine still being there. Like, I don't know. We know what our life would look like. Mm-hmm. We would be doing whatever they asked of us without question, and really sad. And now my relationship with my family is the best it's ever been in my life. Like, after, because I hadn't even really told my family, and the way that I told them was by sharing the podcast episode with them, kind of like, your purpose of starting the podcast. And we had a lot of really hard and ugly conversations, but now we understand each other, we see each other, as the grown adults that we are, and we have fun, and we have a really good relationship now. And I'm so glad, because as we know, like, that was kind of the vulnerability for me that the church, filled in my life. So that's been super cool.
Yay.
Really grateful to make up for that last time.
That's amazing.
I know.
That's amazing.
And I'm finally, it took me a long time to reconnect to the real world and feel like anything was important, like feel like I had purpose in anything, because that belief was so deep in your mind that nothing else matters except for the gospel work. And now I can actually do things and say genuinely that I enjoy doing them, and I'm present, and I feel it for what it really is. So that is a game changer, because I didn't know, I thought it would take years and years and years for that to change. But yeah, I'm starting my bakery this summer.
That's
amazing. Is it gonna be a physical, actual bakery?
So, when you come out, you have to rebuild your whole life, and you have no money. So I'm starting.
So GoFundMe. No, I'm just kidding.
So, hey. I'm starting super small. I just signed my life away for the summer. Every weekend I'm doing the farmers markets.
Oh.
Yeah, so I'm super excited.
We'll come.
Oh my gosh, you guys should.
Anybody in Colorado Springs?
So I'm I'm so excited for that.
And then you mentioned TikTok videos. You're making cooking videos.
Yeah. So I've been working on creating them. I have a few recorded. I super suck at editing. I have no idea what I'm doing. It's really hard. But I have one that's about ready. I should be posting next week, and I'm gonna do like have you seen the cooking videos where they have voiceover? It's like they're sharing a true crime story.
Ooh.
I'm gonna share like my story in the church, and there's a lot of people that want to share their story, but they don't want their identity out there, so they can like send it in if they want, and I'll share it.
That's
on their behalf.
awesome. What kind of things will you be cooking? I'm excited for that.
Lots of different things. Right now though I have braces, so some soft
So you
foods.
have to be like selective on what you can cook.
Yeah.
Yay.
So,
Are you gonna make soups and stuff?
Yeah,
That's a great
I'm gonna
idea.
follow.
I've been eating lots of blended soups, baby food.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm super excited for that. I've always wanted to make cooking videos, but I also am like, I want to do more because you just get so fired up about like the people that you love that are still in the church, and not wanting anyone to get involved and have their life destroyed. So I want to try to do more to create more awareness. So I thought it was a good way to combine the two.
I like it.
But yeah.
It's great. That's a really good idea.
Yeah, great idea.
Maybe it'll flop, but I'll do it anyway. It's fine.
No, it'll be great.
The worst thing that could happen is you make them and you learn how to edit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna
Yeah.
be really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I tried using the TikTok app and like to edit, and I'm finding that iMovie is easier. Yeah.
Is that what you use?
That's what we're gonna try here today, guys.
Oh, yay.
Yeah.
So let's see how that goes. We can call each other and cry together, like
Yeah.
editing so hard.
Oh my god, seriously. If you have any tips.
Ideas about or?
Yeah, I think just like I can share, I myself wasn't in the military. Before the church, I had a pretty serious relationship with an active duty member, and obviously I saw it all, learned a lot about the military, and just being in Colorado Springs, there are 5 military bases. There's Air Force, 2 Air Force bases, the Space Force, 2 Army bases, the Marines, Navy, they're all there. And NORAD is there too. So all of my friends that I end up making, they somehow always end up being affiliated somehow. So just over the years of living in Colorado Springs, I've just learned a lot about that life. And then when I became a member of the church, and there were just so many things that I saw that really aren't cool regarding the way the church views military members and the way they manipulate their careers. They do it to everybody, but I think like it's really super unfair when it comes to the military members. Yeah.
And this is something that we've heard from several of our guests.
Yeah.
Do you
From
remember-
all over the
Were
country.
you
that
guys
we've heard.
encouraged to like seek out military people or not?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
When you were preaching?
like I shared on Great Light Studios, they had us intentionally go preaching on the military bases at the barracks, which is super illegal. And we got
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Don't
we
you
got-
have to have like clearance to get in?
some bases have higher security, and it kind of depends on what's going on in the community and the world, whether they make it open to the public or not. But yeah, we would just, at the time, you couldn't really get on with just a regular ID. You had to be a military member. So like the military members that were in the church would just, they would drive the church van, and then we would all be in the back, and they'd drive us on base.
And drop you off.
yeah, and we'd all go preaching. But yeah, we got kicked off all the time. Huge investigation happened. I actually talked with one of the members who left that was, one of the ones that we recruited during that time, and she was in my unit, and she stopped coming when the Air Force told the members that were in the Air Force that were coming to the church, like, if they were caught being involved at all, they would get an Article 15, get kicked out. Yeah, so I talked with her recently and was like, hey, I'm so sorry. But yeah.
So when you guys went preaching there, it led to an investigation.
Mm-hmm.
Is it so? Were people getting baptized? What caused the investigation?
I don't 100% know every little detail about the military side of the investigation because it's kind of serious and private on their end. But it was just the like us getting caught in the moment preaching at the barracks. Like, we would go when it was dark, usually. Like, it's just super creepy and not cool. So yeah, getting caught and then them finding out like who we are, and then finding out that some of their airmen were members.
They like smuggled you onto the base.
Yeah. So
would they approach you when you were preaching and ask who you were?
No. I wasn't there when we like got caught. It was just like I heard the next day, and then the people were in my unit and they were like, I can't come anymore because the Air Force is saying these things about you guys and it looks like they're true, and we're not allowed to go or we can get kicked out in the military. So it was pretty, and at the time I was like, wow, that's crazy. None of that stuff is true.
So the Air Force investigated and probably saw that it was a cult.
Yeah. And not just a cult, but like, not all cults are equal, but this one is not good. But yeah, because the church will has heavily influenced so many military members' careers to the point of convincing them to get out of the military, and I've seen it so many times. I mean, the girl that I was really close with in the church, she was active duty military, and she loved her military career, and she actually she wanted to go to West Point. That was her goal that she was wanting to work towards, and over time the church just got her to believe that none of that mattered anymore, of course, and that they say, oh, mother loves the military members, and we know that it's because they're already so obedient, they already have like the clean shaven face and the haircut, and but it's really because they're already used to just following without asking questions.
Following like the chain of command.
Yeah, but it's like after a certain point, they don't like the military anymore, because the military can call any time and say, hey, you're deploying here. Hey, you need to pull a 24-hour shift on the Sabbath day, or whatever it might be. And over time, the church will start to, guilt that military member for not being able to attend all the services or attend a preaching meeting or an event, whatever it is. And then advertise to them, entice them to, hey, if you get out of the military, you can be a gospel worker full time. And usually they end up getting out, and then they just completely throw away all of their work in the military and are a full-time gospel worker. Oh, why don't you join Heavenly Mother's army instead?
There's a lot of references as like a spiritual army, so I can definitely see how they would compare it to a physical army.
Yeah, and the thing is too, one thing that I've seen multiple times in Colorado Springs is, and this happened with my friend and also the guy they arranged me to. He was also in the military and he got out for the church. I think it's after a certain year, they have like the GI Bill, that it'll pay for their school 100% after they get out of the military, and even pay them like cost of living. Um, and the church gets them to use that to go to school, not because they're interested in them having an education or bettering their life on a personal level or professional level, but because, as we know, like campuses have been cracking down more and figuring out that their Bible study groups are just a front for recruitment. So they've had military members do that, so that they can have legitimate students establish their Bible clubs, so that there's a less chance of them getting caught. Yeah.
Also, one of the military benefits also is something to do with when you purchase a house, right? Don't you
Getting a VA loan.
Yeah,
Right.
the VA loan. Yeah.
Have you ever seen where that was used in
Yeah.
the church? You have.
Yeah.
I heard that a long time ago, and I was actually in the
Yeah.
mortgage industry at the time, and I was like, that's so crazy.
Yeah, it's super crazy.
So they would use their VA loan, buy a residential house, and then use it as like a house church.
a house church. Yeah.
Wow.
I heard about that early on. I knew that was going on when you were in.
That doesn't seem like it's allowed.
Yeah.
I mean,
know.
is there
Like,
a law
and
against it?
I
The laws
don't
probably-
100% know, but I think like I think with the VA loan, after a certain amount of years, they can use it again. So hopefully, you know, people that have had to do that, they can get out of the church and still have the opportunity to use the VA loan. But, you know, or there's probably people that are like, okay, I can buy another house church now. It's been this many years.
That's true. I didn't even think about it in that way, but like if you buy the house and then you're like, oh, this is a cult, I want to get out.
Yeah.
There's just like one more really big hurdle of like, oh, I used my VA loan.
Yeah.
Ability.
And like the thing with them using their GI Bill for the schooling to benefit the church is just, that one really bothers me because I remember, and this was during the time that I had temporarily left the church. I had met with my friend that was in, you know, she's trying to get me to go back for the Passover. And I asked her like, oh, that's great. What are you going to study? And she made a joke and was like, underwater basket weaving. Because it's like,
It doesn't matter.
I don't care what I study because I'm not here to get a degree or better myself. I'm here to just run this Bible club. Yeah.
Esperanza, did you get invited to Passover this year?
No.
Yay! Were you ever invited after the first
Nope.
year that you were told you couldn't?
Nope.
Until you tithed?
Nope.
All the way?
Nope. I haven't been invited probably since 2019. Not invited to the wedding banquet. That's okay. I'm the one outside, naked. Without the clothes.
The fake wedding of An Sung Hong in
Yes,
Sangyeopja that never
yes.
happened.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I hope you guys have seen the picture that we put, you know, comparing Zangilja, you know, before. I think it was like 2000, I think it was like 2007. I could be wrong. And then her picture now in 2024.
Oh, yeah.
It's quite surprising and shocking, so.
Yeah, it kind of looks like taxidermy.
Oh.
Sorry, that's really
They're right,
creepy.
like Weekend at
It's
Bernie's.
like really disturbing.
It is disturbing.
Yeah.
It's sort of, you know, on my mind a lot and everything, but
Yeah.
we don't know what will happen, you know, soon. She's getting quite old. And there's a lot of things happening in the Whimscog leadership, so it'll be exciting to see. It's a new era. It's a new age.
Yeah.
It's a new age.
The age of exposure.
Yes. Information. The
Yeah.
information.
Freedom
age.
of information.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, since it's the Passover, can we
Mhm.
talk about like all things blood surrounding that sounds
Yeah.
kind of creepy.
Love it.
We love blood.
You know,
Just kidding.
so, you know, there's the blood of the Passover, but you know, the church does their blood drives, and So they know about the donation centers, like the plasma donating and stuff. Most of us were like just pushed into poverty being in the church. And there was a moment where I was super struggling financially in the church. And I was talking with my group leader about it, and she like wrote on a little piece of paper that she ripped from her notebook and slid it over to me on the table, and no one was around, so it was so awkward. Like, why? I don't know why she did it that way. She's cute. I miss her. But and I look at it and it says plasma on it. And she was like, "Have you ever thought of this?" And so she was recommending to me to go donate plasma. Well, because the way that this came up is I was asked to give another offering for, you know, something stupid usually. And I like really didn't have it at the time. And I told her, like, I don't know what to do. I don't have it. Like, I'm behind on my car payment. I'm like, my insurance got canceled because I couldn't pay it. Like, you know, these things that you just are like, well, hopefully Father comes before that due date comes.
Every time.
And you're like, wow, such great faith.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Father never comes. So,
And the bills keep piling.
yeah.
So she wanted you to go donate plasma.
Yeah, she was like, go donate plasma so that you can pay the church offering for, I think it was a preaching trip. And I did. And I actually fainted when I was donating because, you know, you're so malnourished. And I hate needles too. Yeah, when we did the blood drives, I never actually donated. I just would like do the other stuff, the publicity stuff. But yeah, that memory came up a while ago, and I was like, oh.
I've heard of many members doing that.
Yeah.
Next to the North Glen Church, there's a plasma donation center like less than a mile away. So members would do that. And you can do it like a certain amount of time, right? You can do it like once a month or something, or a certain amount of times.
Yeah.
How much
But
do you
that's
get
terrible.
It depends. Like if you're a new donor, you get like little bonuses, I guess. I don't know. I haven't looked since. I don't ever want to be at that point in my life again.
But for her to even recommend that, like, it's not like, oh no, don't worry, you don't need to go preaching this time, or you know, you really need to like pay your bills. No, you need to go donate plasma. Yeah, which is super hard on your body, and
and that's why they limit like the amount of times that you can donate because it is hard on your body. Yeah, just crazy. And she did it all the time. She was like, I've done it many times. But it's just normal there. But yeah, I think I was actually talking with Anthony, and I didn't think it was that serious. And then he was like, whoa, Esperanza, that's really messed up. I was like, oh yeah.
No, but we were living in poverty. Yeah. Like, that's no joke.
And even like at that same time is when the overseer's wife was like, you know, they shame you for not being able to pay your bills, and it's not because you're irresponsible, it's because you're giving them all your money in fear of dying. And she was like, well, I think you just need to give me your whole paycheck, and then I'll just give you what you need for your bills. Which at the moment it was like, well, good luck with that, because it doesn't even cover everything. Right. I'd love to see how you can manage my money, but you know, then it just goes to show too, like the financial control, like just straight up. Like,
can you imagine?
Give me your paycheck.
Can you imagine as an adult, somebody, you know?
Yeah.
But honestly, it's probably something that you might consider. Like, okay, sure.
Yeah. I'm like, oh yeah, just let Father and Mother be in control.
Because you don't see money as money. You see it as like like a material, like serve God, you know, and it's like
Mhm.
the bills really don't matter. Father's
Yeah.
coming. My credit score doesn't matter.
Mhm. Yeah.
My credit cards don't matter. We would just stack up credit card bills for trips to Korea.
Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah, it's just crazy. Yeah, and even
It puts you in dangerous situations, you know, not having money and
yeah, the guy I was arranged to, he had bought a church van for the church, and it ended up getting repoed, and like he's gonna have to pay that. Yeah, just
it'll
things
affect
like that.
him forever.
Yeah,
right.
just things like that. That it's like so damaging to your life. You know, it's like this ball and chain that will be there as long as it takes.
We had a lot of members that had to cancel apartment leases.
Oh,
Did you guys have that?
We didn't have. I don't know. We didn't have when I was there like members that shared an apartment because we were there in the house. But yeah, I know what you mean.
Because they'd be like, "Hey, time to go to
Yeah.
Oklahoma, time to go to South Dakota."
Did you have to do that in Pueblo? Wasn't your name on all that? House church?
No, not all of my stuff, but we, we didn't pay the electricity bill in Pueblo because Pastor told us that it was all, they had the what are they called?
Solar panels?
Solar panels. So we thought we didn't have to pay the electricity bill, but we did.
Oh shit.
And so they called us one day and said all the power was off, and we need to come up with the money for it. We're like, we didn't know.
Oh man.
You're just kind of like sent out, and nobody really gives you a lot of information, and you're young and you don't know.
Yeah.
And then you have to cook for the members and take care of these members, and you hardly know how to take care of yourself.
Yeah. No, absolutely. So, I feel like I've genuinely like healed and moved on from a lot of things regarding the church, but the thing that every day I think about is the people still in, and they have me blocked on everything.
Like that shunning feeling.
Yeah.
Feels like bugging you.
I think I don't care what the church says about me or what they think about me. I think it's just like missing the people that are there and knowing how much potential they have, and just knowing that every minute that you spend in that church, your life
Passes.
It passes, and it just gets worse, and just really caring about them and like having love for the people, like actual love, not this fake love that they have in the church. Like I just want them to live their life. I just want them to know the truth. But yeah, I think so my therapist was like, "Oh, why don't you write them letters?" And I usually keep them in my car in case I ever run into them. I can just, this is for you.
That's a great idea.
Yeah. But it actually was so therapeutic. And I'm like, oh, maybe I can read it on here, and if she ever hears it, that's good enough for me. Or if anyone hears it and makes them realize how much people on the outside genuinely care and miss them, can help them. I haven't looked at this in a while.
So weird.
Okay.
She's gonna read a serious letter. Stop it.
Sorry.
This is a really great idea, actually. I've never thought of that, and I really want to try it.
Oh my gosh, when I started doing it, I just was there forever, like writing letters to so many members.
So you're writing individual letters to each person.
Yeah.
I bet that is therapeutic.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it made me feel better. Yeah.
I think reading it here is the next step of like putting
If you
it
want
out.
to.
Yeah. No, I think it's.
I'm
good.
a therapist. So
I might cry a little bit, but
Oh,
it's
yeah.
okay.
We'll be
Okay.
serious, sorry.
I wrote this in December of 2023. Looks like. Okay. Okay, dear current member. I don't want to say her name. Ooh.
Do you want us to read it?
No.
Okay, I got it. Wow, I haven't cried about church stuff in a while.
Oh, it's okay. Get it out.
There's not a day that passes that you don't cross my mind. I know that the church has advised you not to speak with me and painted a narrative of me that's not true. But I know who I am, along with the things that happened, and I'm not afraid of the church anymore. There are so many things that I've learned about the church that are the undeniable truth and have led me to never want to be part of that organization again. On top of this, the personal abuse I experienced while I was there is unacceptable, and I do not believe that God's true church would lie to and abuse people for financial gain. I believed in Ansang Hong and Zhang Giljiao with every inch of my being, and learning that it's all built on lies was devastating for me. I wanted the church to be right, but the facts are unchangeable, and after being lied to and abused, I had to speak up publicly about the church. I'm sure that I'm being called a slanderer, but a slanderer is not telling the truth. I have proof of everything I spoke publicly about being truthful. I will not tell you all that I know about the truth of the church. It should be your own choice, a choice that is not given to you in the church. I'm sure you'll feel obligated to show the overseers this message, and I understand and expect that. I have nothing to hide. Anyway, my purpose of reaching out to you is not to discuss the church. I want you to know that I will never forget you. I will always consider you my good friend and will love you always. A love that's unconditional. Whether you are a participating member of the church or not. I love you for who you are. Funny, caring, strong, beautiful, creative, smart, and honest. While I was in my abusive arranged marriage, the laughs we shared and your simple presence helped me get through. I will never ever forget you and the good times that you and I shared. I miss you every day. I hope you're taking care of your mind and your health. You have so much to offer this life, and if there's ever anything you need, I'm here. It doesn't matter how much time passes, my number will always stay the same. I love you and I hope to hear from you one day. That's it.
That's beautiful.
Thanks.
That's so beautiful. I hope that she hears it. That was so very beautiful.
Thanks.
I think she'll hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even in like 10
And
years.
it
I
will
don't care.
totally move her heart.
Yeah.
It's so genuine and so sincere, and I love how you say that you hope that you know she's taking care of her health. Because it's like we do worry, you know. It's like we continuously worry about them and hope that they're okay.
It's like you want to shake them, but you can't or do
Yeah,
anything.
yeah.
That's how I would feel with Tony being in it. It's like so frustrating because you're just like, you're the cause, and I can't say anything until you decide to come out of it.
It's so frustrating.
It is frustrating.
And like, oh my gosh.
But you guys understand it more because you guys were like in that mindset, and then you came out of it. As someone who was never in it, it was like frustrating.
I like the part how you said, I'm not gonna tell you that I know everything about the church, because it's so easy for us to be like, oh no, you need to hear what's going on. Like I need to tell you about the lawsuits
like this
and
date
this
isn't
and
correct
this.
and all that.
Yeah, but it's true. Like we can't do that. You can't just go up and be like, blah, 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 blah. You know, they're not ready to hear it. So, you know, it's their own timing and everything, and we're just here when they're ready.
Yeah,
We're here.
absolutely.
I know we miss them so much.
Yeah, just waiting.
Yeah. How should we end it?
I don't know. We gotta do something. Well.
Well, what?
You weirdo.
Should we do like a?
Yeah.
I don't know.
A wave. Boom, baby.
We already did that at the end, at the beginning. We did this one.
Ooh, la, la, la,
We have to end with
It's confusing me because this is you. But this is you. But
I
you guys are
know.
opposite.
That's why I don't like sitting in the middle. It's confusing.
It is confusing.
All right. Well, you guys,
Take it.
Get your finger out of my face. Okay. Well, you guys, our first try of videoing.
I think it
I
went
don't know if
really
that's
good.
a word.
I think that's
What do you do for a living? Videoing?
Yeah, it's a verb. So today we had our first video. Let us know what you think. Like, subscribe down below. Give us a comment. Just kidding.
We're so bad at this.
Like.
It'll get better, guys. Don't you worry. It will get better. Well, today was great because Esperanza was here. So thank you so much. She drove all the way down from Colorado Springs.
Yeah,
Or up. It's up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, all the way up from Colorado Springs. I drove all the way down, and then we meet in the middle.
Just give away my address.
And yeah, so there will be more coming from the Pit Pod. Lots more.
So much more.
So much more.
So much.
So much. So
Thank you,
anyway,
Esperanza. That was very fun.
yeah, thanks for tuning in.
Let's keep our eye out. We'll spread the word about your cooking videos.
Yes, I
and
can't wait.
the farmers market and all of that.
I'm excited.
We'll come visit. We'll come get some yummy food.
Mm-hmm. All right,
Thank
so we'll see you. We'll see you on the flip side. Boom, baby.
Oh, baby.
Hi guys. It was super fun to record in person. However, I got super nervous in front of all the cameras and I completely forgot a whole bunch of stuff that I wanted to say. But there was one thing in particular that I did want to share. And it's just something that I've been experiencing with the church location here in Colorado Springs over the past about 4 months. So I'll just kind of go from where this started. So we all know, like, the church oftentimes will ask members to write reviews for the church, comment on things. But I want to share this particular scenario that happened. So it was a Sabbath in 2022 when I had gone back to the church after leaving for some time. And when I went back with full faith. I didn't doubt even a little bit. I hadn't looked at anything online. So I was very obedient right away when I went back. So that was my mindset. But yeah, it was one Sabbath, and after service, they asked us to all stay in the sanctuary. The guy who's now a deacon, and everything I'm about to say is nothing against him. I hope he's okay. I hope he gets out. But yeah, the deacon is at the announcer podium, and he asks everyone to take out their phone and go to Google and Google the Colorado Springs location of the church to pull up the Google profile. And then he asks us to click on the review section. And then he's like, okay, so there's a lot of internet slanderers, people saying bad things about the church, and if someone is talking bad about your mother, what are you going to do? Are you going to defend your mom? We need to defend Heavenly Mother. We need to report these reviews and try to get them removed. So, and when you're super indoctrinated, like, this all makes sense and is fine. So at the time, it was a little intense, but I was super obedient and I didn't think anything of it. I just did what they asked. So yeah, he asked, then he says, okay, now we're going to scroll down, and they did this for each negative review one by one, like anything that was less than 5 stars. They said, okay, now scroll down to such and such name. But then he'd be like, but look at me. Don't look at your phone. Don't read the reviews. Don't read them. They didn't want anybody reading the reviews. And if anybody was looking at their phone for half a second longer than they thought was acceptable, he would start yelling in the mic again, look at me. Don't look at your phone. So just super crazy. And then they would, then he said, okay, now we're going to report it as discrimination/hate speech, which is super unfair. And again, at the time, I didn't read the reviews. I did exactly as they asked. And then after that was all done, where they had all of us in the sanctuary report each negative review one by one. Then they said, okay, now, if you haven't written a review already, what would you rate eternal life? How many stars would you give Mother for forgiving your sins? So then we were all like really coerced to write these 5-star reviews. And I eventually did give them a 5-star review. So here's the thing, if sorry, Lindsay, I got the giggles. But here's the thing. So why don't they want the members reading the reviews? Are they worried that when the members read the reviews, they're going to see that what's written by ex-members or people who stopped in the church, nothing that they've written isn't true, and it's not slander? And when I was in the church, I didn't know the definition of slander. I thought they made it seem, and I just thought that slander meant just talking bad about someone, just talking smack where it was unnecessary. But when I learned that slander means, telling lies, I was like, wow, the church calling ex-members who speak out slanderers is completely inaccurate, because most everyone that speaks out, everything that they say is true. And there's evidence of everything, including me. So, it just doesn't make sense. And it just shows, that like if they were not a high control religious group and they had nothing to hide, then why would this behavior be necessary? And the purpose of Google reviews is to give an accurate depiction of any given establishment for the public, so they know what they can expect. And Google doesn't like any of the reviews being a conflict of interest, meaning that having like the church overseer writing a review for the church. Like, you'll literally see the overseer write a review, and then it's the overseer or the church leader running the church Google account, and they'll reply to their own review. That's against the guidelines of Google. But, I realized about 4 months ago that they still had my 5-star review. And my review that I initially wrote is no longer the way that I feel. When I wrote that, I was extremely indoctrinated. I was still believing that everything that happened to me was my fault and that it was okay. But now, having healed and learned that everything that they taught was just built on lies, I don't think it's fair for the public that they see my positive review of the church. So I went and I wrote a new one, and I gave them 1 star. It would have been 0, but that's not an option. So this is what I wrote. I was a member of this church location for about 5 years. Most of these reviews were written by members who were pressured to. They will like each other's posts to boost them and force everyone to report truthful comments without reading them. The church consists of arranged marriages, teaches young women to get abortions, and lies to and gaslights their members on a daily basis. They will tell you not to research the church because they don't want you to see the truth of their history. These, among other things, have been my personal experience, of which I'm still trying to recover from more than a year later. According to cult experts and research, this organization identifies as a high-control religious cult. There are good people there, trapped and separated from their friends and families. This is a practice of cults. I hope they can leave and enjoy their life as God intended one day. So, again, when you go to write a Google review, the prompt that Google gives you is like, please give, share your personal experience with this establishment or whatever. And that's exactly what I did. This is my personal experience. This is everything that happened to me that I have proof of. So, there's nothing wrong with it. I know that the church tried getting it taken down. However, my comment has gotten so many likes, my review. And every time one of your Google reviews gets a like, Google sends you a notification on your phone that says, congratulations, people are finding your review helpful. So, and it's just that, it's, if Google sees that the review is helpful, they're not going to remove it. So because the church wasn't able to remove my review, they did another round of having all the members, that hadn't before write reviews again. And then this time too, they also changed the way the reviews were formatted. Like before, they would be, the reviews, they would be just super obvious that everyone's just really indoctrinated in believing something completely out of this world. Like, oh, thanks to Father, Mother, we're not in the darkness anymore. Just, like the stuff you say when you're brainwashed in there. But now after my review, they had them change the format. And it's almost like they gave the members like a skeleton, where they just fill in the blanks. Like, okay, say how long you've been in, talk about, your family in the church, talk about this, because they're all really similar, the reviews. So it's really obvious. But then he also reached out to people that aren't members at this location, like leaders in the West Coast, whatever, and had them write a review for the Colorado Springs location too. And, you go through the reviews, like there's one specific member, I love and miss her a lot. But in her review, she shared that it's a great place for families, and she shared these things about her kids. But I know when I was there, she was shamed for getting pregnant. So just things like that are not truthful, and nothing at all against her. Like we know what it's like to be there and really believe these things. So yeah, this has just been my experience. But I know that this is something that the church does, not only on their Google profile, but on social media, and every platform that they can get their hands on. But the thing is too, it's recommended for a business on their Google profile. Like bad reviews happen. So church, the World Mission Society Church of God, here's some advice for you. It's recommended by Google that a business actually responds to their negative reviews. However, as we know, the church never responds. They just try to completely drown out and shut away the testimonies of ex-members. But why? It's because you guys are so afraid, and that everything that the ex-members are speaking about is true. It's crazy that you can look a member in the eye who's crying to you about the abuse in their arranged marriage and say, oh, I'm so sorry, these things don't really happen in the church, it shouldn't have happened that way, when you yourself are in an arranged marriage, when you yourself have arranged other marriages and seen this happen time and time over again. That's not okay. And I really hope that the leaders in the church start to bring all these things that have been in the back of their mind that they just compartmentalize and have seen over the years. I hope they start to bring them to the front of their mind and realize how much abuse they're causing to people and to themselves. So anyway, that's all I wanted to share. I hope that everyone is okay. I hope everyone is happy and healthy and enjoying, healing and catching up with your family and friends. Thanks for listening. Oh, and if you have a 5-star review for the church, maybe you should change it. I don't know. It's up to you. Anyway.